Arcade Heroes.
Greetings, it's Adam with ArcadeHeroes.com, and we've got some news from a company called Unico USA to discuss. If you're not familiar with them, some quick background on the products that they have that are arcade related. Of course, everything is at this point, I guess for the most part. They first burst onto the scene, as I recall, with the Neo Geo MVS-X, a home bar top unit that you see here. Of course, it had a base to make it more upright style for man caves and such. They also recently produced this 4:3 aspect ratio LCD. They have a few different models, a 26-inch, 19-inch, 17-inch. I purchased one of the 26 inchers, and I have a video of that on my channel showing how that process went. And I actually just ordered a second one. Unfortunately, I've had a ton of CRT problems lately, and so looking at replacing at least another one and possibly more in the future. But perhaps if anybody wants to, I can film that process, and perhaps I'll do better the second time around or install it quicker. But they have a new product that was at IAPA 2023. Unfortunately, I missed out on visiting their booth, so I didn't get a chance to see it and touch it in person. But it's called the Nova Blast City, or the Nova Blast Candy Cab, sorry. And this has been given pricing, dimensions, all sorts of details. So let's dive into that. And most of those details at the moment are on their Facebook page. Again, Unico USA, and they have videos and other details. But this particular post from 6 days ago, which would have been the 12th of December, has the most details, and they explain what a candy cab is in case you don't know. I'd assume most do, but maybe somebody doesn't. As it mentions here in this paragraph, its greatest feature lies in its versatility. You can easily connect almost any JAMA-based arcade PCB, link up your PC or Android box for an array of retro games, or even integrate consoles like Dreamcast or Xbox 360. Equipped with authentic Sanwa parts, 2 Sanwa joysticks, and 8 Sanwa buttons per player, the Nova Blast ensures a real arcade gaming experience. And it also is a full metal cabinet. And now it does come in primarily in a desktop design, but it has a base. Get into that in a little bit here soon. But it also has a JAMA Edge connector with assorted adapters, and it supports connectivity for nearly every PCB with plans for expanding accessory compatibility in the future. I did reach out to them on Facebook in a chat, asked some questions. They did confirm that they've been testing more than just JAMA boards just to see where its compatibility goes, including some more recent arcade boards. And so they're still in the process of testing just to see what its limits are, but I'm sure they'll post about those once they have the results. And it mentions that it has a controller button encoders that accept D input, X input, and SDL. It uses the 26-inch ULM 26 Pro as part of their Phoenix monitor series, which I'm guessing is an updated version of the one that had shipped previously. As you might also recall, there was some criticisms over the original ULM 26, and so I guess this probably handles those. And oh yeah, it does mention here made from high quality sturdy steel and guarantees durability, promising a long lasting gaming experience. Now oh yeah, and also adjustable for both horizontal and vertical orientations on the monitor. I think I read in another post when they were answering a question about that, because people have been asking about Tate mode, where it's in vertical orientation for things like shoot 'em ups. That it's not difficult to swap that around. But here's one thing that really perked my interest, and another reason why I'm covering this for the channel. I mean, generally speaking, I haven't covered much on things like Arcade 1-Up. Now, this doesn't really fit into that class. I mean, it does to a degree, where the base unit is designed for your home arcades and such, or sorry, the top unit, the bar unit, I should say. Whereas with the base unit, then it has a built-in coin mechanism so that it can actually be used in a professional commercial arcade. Now, again, unfortunately, I missed out on seeing what it's like in person. But at least from the photos, the videos, and everything, and from those who have had a chance to check one out so far, it sounds like it's a pretty sturdy piece of equipment. And the dimensions, or dimensions wise, it's actually pretty close to Sega's old Astro City. I've had one of these before, and it's just a little bit less wide and about 10 inches less deep than the Astro City, but it is slightly taller, and it weighs half the weight in pounds. But I guess one note there is Astro Cities would have came with that CRT, which that alone added 60 to 80 pounds to it. And so, yeah, that's all impressive. Now, let's see here. I guess this was already running. Or let's jump ahead. Nova Blast Full Metal Candy. So yeah, Sama joysticks, HDMI and JAMA video outputs, starting at $999 plus freight. Pre-orders open here in 2 days. And so let's look at more of the pricing here. So you've got the bar top, again, that they just mentioned. The base is an additional $299. You can get the combo at $11.99, or the deluxe with the two-piece arcade chairs. Those look just like you'd see in Japan for $14.25. And so, yeah, that's very versatile from everything that I see about this. There was also a demo video. Let me see if I can find that. It might have been this one. Jump ahead just a little bit. Here. Okay. So this is where they show putting in a single slot Neo Geo MVS board into it. It's obviously on the base there. And there's that JAMA connector. And I guess one of the questions I should have asked is how many adapters do they have for it or have tested so far. And super happy that it's on wheels. I recently moved a bunch of games to a Christmas party, and the ones without the wheels, and locking wheels, were such a nightmare to move around. But at least visually, this looks like a great little solution. Now, I've seen some people in comments saying, well, why should I get this when I could get a Chulix from China? I've had a Chulix before, at least for arcade use. It often had some problems, either power wiring problems, or particularly with the coin acceptance. It was a real pain in the butt to get it to work right with coins. Like I had to adjust things I had like cram cardboard underneath the door to get the alignment to work right. So that was always a pain. But it also came with a wide monitor as opposed to the 4x3, which, most of your JAMA PCBs, if not all JAMA ones, are going to the games themselves were designed for 4x3 play as opposed to 16x9. Now, of course, anything newer from the past 10, 15 years would probably be designed for a wider screen. But yeah. Oh, and I guess one thing that they did mention, because I did ask them, what would you think about this operating inside of an arcade, is they would probably recommend not having that volume dial that's right there, and just remove that and plug up the hole. And there are hole plug things that you can get that exist for candy cabs. Yeah, this is a very interesting and cool development from again, more of the world of home arcades, but one that is designed with commercial arcades in mind. Again, I'd love to try one of these out in person and see how it might handle being in an arcade environment. I mean, as long as the cabinet is sturdy, where it is made out of steel, and of course it's using Sama sticks, then I would assume that it should handle things just fine. I have a Korean candy cab called the Joyro by Andamiro, and for the most part, that's held up pretty well. I've had that one for, gosh, 10 years now, I think, and it still works. Only problem I have right now is the CRT. It is having issues where I need to find a new flyback for it. But I mean, otherwise, it's held up pretty well. But so would I put one of these in an arcade again? I just really answered that question, but I would not be surprised. I mean, especially if the quality is there, that you might see some arcades grabbing some, and since it is built out of metal, it should hold up better than your typical arcade one-ups. I don't know about the arcade one-up pros. I've not really seen any arcades handle those, but of course those aren't designed, even then those aren't designed to be going into an arcade, although I guess they would handle it a little bit better. But yeah, jury's out on it, but so far it looks very interesting, a very cool alternative to having your or getting a new metal cabinet here in the States and such. Now, I guess one thing that just crossed my mind is what about the X Arcadia? So probably would work fine in one of those, and if I ever did get one, I can test it out and see how it go. But one thing that the Exa does support is 4x3 mode now for all their games, and if you look at them, they all mention that they support that. And so I've seen some pictures of arcades in Japan running an Exa on an old candy cabinet, and so that would be there. Although personally, I'd still prefer to run something on a widescreen 4K display. But what do you think about this? Would you want to be getting one of these for your home or arcades? Or you, like me, want to just kind of see what the quality's like in person before you would jump on that? Yeah, let me know in the comments below. We'll catch you on the next video.